a quick reminder that FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of not just the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, but of the NBA as well. And right now, new customers who join FanDuel.com/UCSS can bet $5 and win $150 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. You can bet on the opening tip. You can bet on player points over unders. You can bet on rebounds, three-pointers, you name it. FanDuel's got it. And if you go to FanDuel.com/UCSS and sign up now, you can bet $5. If that bet wins, you get $150 in bonus bets. So head over to FanDuel and become part of America's #1 sportsbook. It's also the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. All right, guys, the Cavs have not made a buyout signing yet, and they have a few more days, and I don't know the exact date that it has to happen by, but they only have 13 active players on their roster. They have to get to a minimum of 14 coming up soon. So for the sake of this conversation, let's assume they're not going to get a buyout guy. There could still be some movement on the buyout market. They could end up signing a big, but for the sake of this, let's assume that's out of the equation. The only other way they can meet that 14-player roster minimum requirement is to convert one of their two-way contracts into a full-time NBA contract. That could be Emoni Bates, G. It could be Luke Travers. It could be a Nae'Qwan Tomlin who had 35 and 10 the other day. G, I'll start with you. If the Cavs are going to convert a two-way player into an NBA contract, is Emoni Bates the right guy to do that with?
I recuse myself from this conversation. I am biased. I don't think I'll be able to deliver anything of noteworthy that would be I actually just above board. I just have to recuse myself. I'll let Travers and Dustin go. You already know where I stand. You already know where I'm at with this.
Oh my!
Ty, we'll come back to G then. Emoni Bates, Luke Travers, Nae'Qwan Tomlin, the three most likely candidates to get converted. If it was up to you and you were running the Cavs, would Emoni Bates be your choice in this instance?
I mean, I think that, anytime that we go up big in games, Emoni Bates is like one of the first guys that we don't see that gets in the game between him and Craig Porter Jr. So obviously we know the offensive skill set is there. I think that if you had to convert one of them, I would say he's probably the closest because he has the highest upside out of all of those guys. And maybe just having him more around the team and, more up, maybe that'll groom him more into, making him more of an NBA player to be able to contribute maybe on a night-to-night basis. So I guess out of those three names, I guess I would probably go with him. But I know he's not going to give me the defense and things like that. Like, he's not going to fulfill the extra big that we need, but maybe that's why you went and got Hunter, maybe because Hunter can do those things and maybe you can get away with it, for a little bit over the playoffs. And you hope that Dean Wade stay healthy. It's not a guy that we're going to be needing in the playoffs. Like none of those three guys you name is going to be guys that, in the playoffs, game 7, put Emoni Bates in. Like, I don't think or Luke Travers or any of them. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I think that certainly this is a guy that obviously if he's still developing and still growing and you're seeing him take leaps and bounds, then reward him with that and show him that you want him around here. You see him as a future of the Cleveland Cavaliers and reward him with the contract.
JT Thor is another option too. I should have mentioned him earlier. I did not. But JT Thor also a two-way guy who can be converted if the Cavs choose. Dustin.
He had one of the coaches.
I mean, listen,
last year.
Listen, none of these guys are going to make a difference for the postseason or for the run. Bates is the one guy that has, I think, upside, especially on the offensive end. I mean, the guy's just scored 33 in the G League, a week or two ago. Mm-hmm. So I would like to get him up just to have him around the guys to experience that run. You know what I mean? One of those things. It's almost like the oh God, what was the guy's name? How can I forget his name? Cedi Osman. Remember when Cedi came up with LeBron and was just around those guys? Didn't really play, but experienced it, and then it helped him throughout evolving and maturing as a player. So I just think having someone like Bates around would be good for him personally in his development and growth as a player.
All right, I recuse myself. I'm ready to go.
All right.
So listen, Emoni Bates, he has a skill set. He has an upside. He's an offensive player. The problem where you see what a Emoni Bates game is. He has to learn to get that within the flow of the offense, right? So for him, like when he get on the court, like there's certain levels of green light, right? Donovan Mitchell got the green light. Darius Garland got the green light. Evan Mobley got the green light. But Jared Allen don't got the green light. But Emoni Bates operates as if he has the unlimited green light at all times. And coaches in the league ain't gonna tell you don't got the green light. You'll just see red lights when you're sitting on the bench. You're like, dang, I can't get in, but I have 40. So for him, what we gotta learn to do is become a scorer with inside the team frame, right? Also, his game was all the way out of here. When he got hurt, that the first part of the season, that's when you acclimate yourself and the coach get a chance to see you in training camp. When you miss that many years, they moved on, and they're looking at who's going to fit my rotation right now. So he wasn't never going to get no tick this year. I am with Dustin. The best thing that could happen for him is for him to get put on the roster because he can see how guys go work. If he want to play, he should be up underneath these veterans like, yo, he should be figuring out, okay, I need to be by Donovan. He should be figuring out, and he got to have one more thing. You can't just score. That's why Matt McClung is not in the league. You can't just score. You got to give me something else. And so that means you got to be able to be a rebounder, a guy that could distribute, a guy that's going to play extremely hard, or you're going to have to be such a great scorer that you don't never miss. And they'll be like, all right, we got to put him, he ain't missed in 3 weeks. But think about it. That didn't even happen to what's the name? Was Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome was unconscious, and even his minutes waned back and forth. So that's the life as of a bench guy. So look, he's going to have to get with these guys. The best thing that can happen is that they put him on the roster, and he can learn to be around other guys and be a professional as playing within structure, but still being able to be who he is and still play his game. So that'll be a big role and big notch for him. It's like this when you used to play in high school, Dustin. You know what I'm saying? You was a freshman. You was dressed in JV though.
Oh yeah,
you dressed JV. You dressed.
I got to dress varsity one game as a freshman. It was an experience.
Yeah, the game is quicker. People, you learn how to. Here's how the pregame routine is. Here's how you need to get your shots up get your shots up afterwards. So he need to find him a buddy. and go and be in his ear like, yeah, this is what I need to do, believe. And that's the quickest way you're gonna play McNuggets. You tell me if I'm wrong, you the basketball guy. That's my assessment.
I'll get to Emoni Bates in a sec, but there's a bigger point of this that we're all missing. If they convert a guy, any of these two-way guys, to a full-time NBA contract, that means whoever they convert is going to be a fixture on their roster, on their legitimate NBA roster for the next 2 or 3 years. I forget exactly how long the contract is. And in today's second apron world, those minimum contracts are gold. There's a reason Kobe Altman was basically unwilling to part ways with Jalen Tyson in any kind of trade discussion. Why? Because he can contribute and he's making $4 million a year. Craig Porter Jr. was apparently off the table in trade conversations. Craig Porter Jr. is a fine player. He's not in the Cavs playoff rotation, but why don't you trade a guy like Craig Porter Jr.? He's making the league minimum and can give you valuable minutes. And as other guys get their extensions kicking in and become a second apron team, and it's harder to move guys around, those contracts are literally like gold bricks. So whoever they convert here is a guy that the Cavs have to hope can fit within the framework of their team for the next 2-3 years. And at the 1.2 or 2.1, whatever the minimum salary is, can contribute in some capacity. I'm not saying Emoni Bates can't contribute. I'm not saying Nae'Qwan Tomlin can't contribute. I'm not saying JT Thor can't contribute. But when I look at the 4 options for this question, Luke Travers is the guy that makes the most sense for me to convert from a two-way contract into an NBA full-time contract because of the versatility he offers. We talked about wings without size, G. He's a legit 6'8", long arms. Not a great athlete, but a decent enough athlete. And he's one of the guys that's always in the right place at the right time. He's more of a connector than a star. And when you're playing on any team with Donovan, Darius, Evan, 3 All-Stars, plus Jared Allen, former All-Star, plus DeAndre Hunter, Ringer top 100 player, plus Ty Jerome, plus Max Strus, plus whoever else they put in as the other backup big, there aren't going to be a ton of shots to go around. Can you envision a world in the next 3 seasons where the Cavs are ever running offense through Emoni Bates? I don't see it because of the other options on the team. So it's going to be who can be a 5th guy in a lineup, who can get us 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Luke Travers in his last game of the Charge had a 25, 12, and 10 triple-double, showing some of the passing skills, some of the rebounding skills that we haven't seen from some of the other G League candidates in this conversation. So I know when he's gotten into NBA games this season, Luke Travers has not performed to the level the Cavs, frankly, had hoped he would at this point. But you can say the same thing about that with Emoni and the other guys, JT Thor included, when they've gotten minutes. Even though Thor's minutes in garbage time have been a little more productive than the other two, the point remains the same. So I would convert Luke Travers as the guy to get that 14th roster spot. None of them are going to play this season or contribute in any meaningful way. But if you are looking over the next 3 years, I think Luke Travers fits in as the connector with the core 4 plus assembled pieces, as opposed to a guy like Emoni, who probably has the highest upside of the group. But you need to run an offense for Emoni. Well, Emoni is yet to show us he fits into an offense, unlike Luke and Nae'Qwan and JT Thor.
What is Luke's measurables?
I'll pull it up for you right now, but he's tall as hell. Like, he's one of those guys that when you stand next to him, he's listed at 6'8", 210.
And Amani's what, 6'8", 6'7"?
According to Basketball Reference, Amani's way bigger. He's put on some legitimate muscle. Emoni is listed on Basketball Reference. He's listed at 6'10", 170. There's no way he's 6'10". I've been around Emoni enough to know he's not actually 6'10".
6'10", 275.
But he's put on some real muscle.
You said he was 6'10", what?
275.
All right, he's listed on ESPN at 6'8", 170. He was on Basketball Reference at 6'10", 170. I'm going to say Emoni's about 6'8", 185, 190. He's gotten bigger. Legitimately, you can see the improvement in his body with the work he's put in this offseason.
Yeah, he still shoot from half court too. I seen one of them games shoot from half court. I said, bro, this dude's unconscious, bro. Pulling up with a straight face. Like,
he don't even think about it. It's straight. Let's go.
No
remorse. I got a tweet this morning from Christian at Always Humble 29. I want to read this tweet real quick. What was the point of drafting Emoni Bates if he doesn't get a chance at all? I'm not understanding this. Why would you draft a guy if you're not going to give him a shot? Second-round picks are so hit or miss in the NBA. Like, I was looking at the 2024 draft class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 second-round picks from this most recent draft class have yet to play in a single game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 others have played in fewer than 10 games. And only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And only 5 have played in 40 or more games. Second-round picks sometimes get a chance, sometimes don't. The Cavs are already playing 12 guys on some nights. I don't know where you find minutes for 13. So, G, you guys, did you had any issue with Emoni not getting more? And he's coming off injury, which is another big part of this. You guys had an issue with Emoni not getting maybe a fair shot this season, considering how good the Cavs have been and how deep the rotation's been?
Man, listen, I can see. I was on a deep dive with Matt McClung. He was the MVP of the G League. He averaged 26 a game.
Yo, he can hoop. That's my guy, by the way.
He can. Matt McClung is not just a dunk guy. He averages 26. He averages like 6 and 7. Like, the dude, like, and he's efficient. So, like, but the thing about the league and the G League in general is people get caught up in the G League. Like, it's a numbers game, and you got to realize you have to do something more than what you're good. Like, you got to be a two things creature. You got to be like, I can shoot and I can D up. I can play defense, plus I rebound. Emoni Bates does not, for his size, does not rebound the basketball at a high enough rate. If you're talking about playing, you got DeAndre Hunter. He shoots just as good as Emoni Bates. And he's bigger, he's more physical, and he plays defense. So if you're giving out minutes to people, like, the minutes come to people that can give you something. And coaches would rather have somebody that fits into their their scheme that could do something that they're not getting. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they got everybody that can score. Like they got multiple. Max Strus is coming off the bench. He can score. Karis LeVert, they just got rid of Karis LeVert. He can get 50 off the bench. So you're not going to get that opportunity. You have to do multiple things. So, no, I don't see a problem with him not playing.
I think Emoni Bates probably going to be one of those players that have to go somewhere else to play because the Cavaliers are so good and the guys that's above him is so good that it's just going to keep him out of it. I think that he would have to go to a worse franchise, like the Pelicans or something like that, who needs a guy who's like, you know what, let's put this guy in the game. And when he gets that opportunity, he has to shine in that opportunity to make himself stick out. But right now with the Cavaliers, like, it's so many good guys in front of him right now that, like you said, it's so hard to get him minutes. So Emoni Bates might be one of those guys that, although, G is high on him, and even me, I want to see him play, and I think he's a really good player. I just don't think that it will be with the Cavaliers. I think it'll be somebody else.